everybody. This is so fun. I already see so many familiar names, not faces, because I can't see your faces, but I'm picturing your faces. I see Suze. Hey, Diana. This is great. Would you say hello in the chat box? You guys are already doing that. Tell me if you can hear me and see me, okay? And then I would love to know if this is your first time hanging out with me on a webinar. That would be really fun to know. Or if you're like a regular or already in the Blueprint community, just tell me. It's always helpful to see who my friends are hanging out here. Hey, Ann, I see you there. Okay, lots of people. Michigan, we have Tennessee, Germany. Hey, Germany, North Little Rock, LA, New York. Oh, yeah, this is great. Good. We're going to have a good chat today. Thanks, guys, for coming to hang out with me to hear about my 18 months off of social media. So much to tell you. We're going to just get real here today together. Snowy Colorado. Hey, Alexa, darling. Alabama. Okay, this is great. And Amy, welcome. Welcome to the newbies. Yeah, I was interested to see if we have a lot of new people today or like our core group. This is great. Hey, Emma. The UK. Guys, you guys are coming in from everywhere. Okay, today's going to be good. So we're going to talk about social media free marketing. I'm going to share with you all the results of my 18 months off of social media. But if you would be willing to share, what made you sign up today? What made you be like, I am going to sign up for this webinar? I know there are so many opportunities out there for free classes and webinars and all that good stuff. But why this one? I would love to hear before we dive in. Hey, Kathleen. Y'all are great. Sorry, my printer's going off right now. Hey, Laura. This is awesome. Okay. Diana, need more marketing avenues. Well, you were totally in the right place. Yay. Again, first time hanging. Hey, lady. This is good. Stephanie, feeling like I'm coming across stuffy and not able to be me on social media. Got it. Emma, I trust you. And wait, it went really fast for a second. And believe in your process. Thank you. Emily, hi from New York. I work in marketing for a small female-run business. Yay, in publishing. I don't have a marketing background and have been teaching myself over the last 2 years. Awesome. There was marketing before social media. I love that. Okay, wow, they came in really fast. So I missed a lot of them. Hey, Meg. I'm seriously considering taking a 3-month break from December to February. I turned 40 in December and always have these great winter projects and never get to them. Love that. Okay, Laura, it's a black hole of comparison and time waste. Emily, I hate writing captions and I want to diversify my marketing approach. These are all really good. You guys are in the right place. Okay, Adrian, last one I'm going to read. We got matched for adoption with a baby due in February. So I want to be off social media after baby is born and set up systems for using emails in my CRM for my business instead of social media. Okay, this is awesome. Jenna, Instagram just makes me feel down, self-conscious about myself. Most of the time, I just believe there has to be a better way. Yes. All feelings, not all, but a lot of feelings I was having 18 months ago before I went off social media. So, hey guys, I'm Shanna Skidmore. For any new people here, some of you probably know me well. I have been a little hidden for the last 18 months. On March 1st of 2017, I decided to quit social media, cold turkey, basically, for my small business and personally. So what that looked like is I left Facebook and Instagram completely, took it off my phone, don't even have it on my phone anymore, and blocked it. Well, my husband blocked it from, I couldn't even log in. So I had a child lock on all social platforms. And I did that for a lot of reasons, which I'm going to share with you. But I first wanted to just start today with a couple things. We're going to spend about an hour together. This is going to be very conversational, and I really want to answer your questions. So if there's any questions you have, we're going to do this a little different today. We're going to do a before I left social media and after, kind of transformation. Who doesn't love a good makeover story? So in the middle, we're going to have time for some questions. So any questions you have about going social media free, I'm going to be an open book today and share with you anything you want to know about my business, personally, mentally, emotionally, financially, all those things. So think about your questions. I'm also going to ask you during this time to put your phones down. There will be a moment where I actually ask you to look up something on your phone. So if it's nearby, that would be great. But I just want you to, if you can, just be present here with me as much as possible. And my last little thing here is today is in no way about social media being bad. I actually think it's an incredible platform for helping us grow our businesses and has given a lot of women the opportunity to do things that we have never really gotten to do before. And I'm just so thankful for that. Today, though, is about what I learned during my 18 months off and about working smarter, not harder when it comes to marketing. So you're going to hear about marketing from a non-marketing girl. For some of you, this might be super elementary. Like, if you have a marketing background, you might be like, oh, I already know all that. But I'm so excited to share it from a perspective of somebody that didn't know anything before. That just happened to be really great. I found a niche and a product that I could provide that really fit a market, and I never had to worry about referrals or marketing. And so it was really important for me to learn this. And so that's all that I'm going to share with you. During this first part, I'm actually going to put the slideshow up and not show my face because it's a pretty emotional story for me to tell. So you won't see me for a little bit. But during the last part, I will for sure come back so you can see me. Is everybody ready? Feeling energized? Excited? I need to get up and do a dance. Okay, we're going to dig in and we're going to start with before I left social media. Okay, here's my before story. 18 months ago, it was March 1st, 2017, and I had at that point had my business officially for about 3.5 years. I was running a multi-six-figure business. I had one-on-one clients and had just launched a product-based program called the Blueprint Model, which I have a lot of familiar faces that are in that community. I had been feeling for actually about 8 months that social media maybe wasn't the best for me emotionally. I started realizing that some of my days were dictated, my feelings about my day were dictated by the likes on Instagram. And that made me really feel bummy. Sometimes, I don't know if anybody else has felt this way. So if you feel brave, put a little yes in there for me. But there were days that I would just feel like, why am I feeling kind of low and not really energized about my business? Like all these things are going so well. And my husband would always kind of be like, do you need that platform? Do you need that? Why do you have to have it? And I'm like, duh, I need it. I run a business. This is how I market. But it's really, really interesting that I had to learn that maybe I did. So I'm going to count down with you here. So I'm going to count down from 8 right now. Let's see how fast it goes. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you know that we have 8 seconds to grab someone's attention when they come to our website? We have even fewer than that to grab their attention when they come on social media. So we're putting all this energy into creating incredible content that we have to win them over in less than 8 seconds. And if any of you sat with me 15 months ago when I did my 3-month review, you've heard a little bit of this before, but I think it's important to go back. There's this quote. It's from the movie Moneyball, which is one of my favorite movies, just so everybody knows. And it says, the first one through the wall always gets bloody. Always. Well, see, already getting emotional. So my first 3 months, I went on social media and I felt like I got very bloody. My fears were definitely about being forgotten. That was probably my biggest fear, was that if I went on social media, I would totally like be forgotten. Everybody would just keep moving on, and I would not. And so that was definitely a fear. And then my second fear was I have been, the main income earner for our family. And I was afraid that we would lose our income, and that, what would happen if I wasn't making enough money, because Instagram was my number one marketing tool. Like many of you, I've heard reflected many times. And my third one was just about losing control. I laugh kind of and say, but it's really not funny, that I was white knuckling my business. I was just holding on so tightly, trying to do all the things right. I don't know if anybody else has ever felt that way. And while I didn't follow all the rules on Instagram by any means, or any other marketing rules, I still, like, in some ways felt like quitting social media was giving up control. But I realized that the landscape of social media and advertising really changed. When I started Instagram, I would like post pictures of my dog and my Christmas tree. It was not for marketing at all. And then over the years, I realized that's where my audience is, and it became more, I tried to put more effort into it. This is a really interesting quote by the New York Times. It says, "Anywhere that I can see, it's likely to see an ad." This is even more now. Red Crow Marketing says, when you create more media channels, you'll create more advertising. And this was really interesting from CBS News. It said in 1970, we saw about 500 ads per day. By 2014, it was up to 5,000 ads per day. And my friend Ashlyn sent out an email, I think just yesterday, and it was really interesting. She said there's 95 million Instagram posts per day, which is insane. And there's more content put out into the world on the internet every 2 days than existed in total until 2003. So the world, the landscape of advertising and marketing has completely changed, and really, really fast. We're just figuring out what social media is and does marketing-wise and psychology-wise. This is something interesting that actually Kathleen sent me, a screenshot that was posted by Create and Cultivate while I was off social media. And she sent it to me, and it said 75% of women spend 2 hours on social media per day, but 68% of them also say that social media affects their self-esteem. And we actually, this past couple weeks when we were coming back to social media, did our own surveys, and these weren't the end results, but they were very close. Questions that we asked the audience: when you hop on social media, do you find yourself comparing your life and your stuff with someone else's life and stuff? 84% said yes, oftentimes. Second question: do you walk away from this app somehow believing that what you have isn't good enough? 75% said yes, all the time. That's incredible. And I'm going to read you something I shared the other day on Instagram Live, but you might have missed it. And it was from a Psychology Journal article, and I just thought it was incredible. It's a little long, but I'm going to read it to you. It says, almost every social media platform is in the business of keeping its users online as long as possible in order to deliver as many advertisements to individuals as possible. To achieve this goal, social media applications use addiction triggers to reward individuals for staying online longer, in the same way that dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for feelings of reward and pleasure, is released when gamblers gamble or when alcoholics drink. Social media applications are littered with dopamine release triggers. One researcher had this to say about social media applications and how they trigger addiction responses in users. He said, the likes, comments, and notifications we receive on our mobile devices through social media apps create positive feelings of acceptance. Our minds are being brain hacked by these apps and social platforms. Research and development dollars are allocated to determining how technology can stimulate the release of dopamine during product use to make us feel good about ourselves. And this is crazy, guys. Listen to this. When we are not getting this dopamine release from our apps and smartphones, we feel fear, anxiety, and loneliness. The only remedy for some is to get back on the device for another pleasure release. Whether we believe it or not, social media is addictive. I think most of us know that. But as business owners, the biggest thing that we have to do is control and be intentional about our time. And that's what I started realizing over the last 18 months was not only maybe was it bad for me emotionally, I really think getting off social media happened to be the best thing I ever did in my business. And I'm going to show you exactly why. I do not recommend doing it like I did, and I'm going to tell you what I do recommend doing. But I started asking, do we have to stay on this app that isn't good for us, but maybe good for our business? Like, do we have to choose our business over ourselves? Is that real? Is this the best place for us to be spending our time? That is the question we should be asking. And I just want to say I'm so thankful each of you signed up to be on this, because this is a hard conversation. It has not been a popular move by any means. I mean, some people are like, yeah, Shanna, you're awesome. Other people are like, what are you doing? But I'm here to share, like, I am all about working smarter, not harder. And I realize, like, anyways, I'll share all that. But let me show you some before stats, because I'm really into statistics. But this quote's amazing. It said, Henry David Thoreau, you cannot hear music and noise at the same time. I remember when I went off, it was already noisy. And that was like before stories became a thing and before you could advertise on Instagram. So I can only imagine now. Okay, so these are true statistics. So this is the month before I went off of social media. Some of you might have seen this before. So this was from February of 2017. I took this screenshot on March 1st, the day I went off. So at that point, I had 2,300 2,300 visits and about 2,300 a month. And what isn't shown on this, but I have notes on it, I was getting 60% of my traffic to my website was direct traffic, which at the time I didn't even know what that meant, but I will share that in a little bit. But 40% of all of the traffic to my website was coming from Instagram. So other than direct traffic, Instagram was my biggest referrer. It was the biggest driver of traffic. So basically, going off social media was really silly. It was really scary for my business and could have really potentially done a lot of damage. This was just 3 months into, sorry, my voice, just 3 months into going social media free. So this was May 1st through May 31st. You'll see my visitors went down to 500 a month. So it literally dropped a lot. I can't even do that calculation. This is the part that's like really hard to share because I was terrified. I mean, it got extremely quiet, and all the fears that you guys have that you've echoed to me about quitting social media. Is social media necessary evil for your business? I'm afraid if I quit social media that I'll be forgotten. All of my biggest fears, and I think some of the fears you guys have, are the same. And it happened. I did feel like I was forgotten. It was extremely quiet. If I had been trying to sell something, I would have really been hurting. It was just emotionally terrible. Also, at the very same time, I moved to a completely different location and had no in real life friends that lived near me. So the loneliness factor, I was not getting constant approval online. All that to say, I went through like a identity crisis. I had to be, if my business isn't here tomorrow, would I be okay? And am I okay without it? And I know that that sounds so silly. I mean, to say, it feels silly to say, but I think that you all feel that way too. Our business is important to us. It becomes a piece of who we are. And when it feels threatened, it's like we feel kind of threatened. Anne Lamott says, the opposite of faith is not doubt, but certainty. And in this time, I am a perfectionist and a control freak. And I realize that we have a lot less control than we think we do. And that's possibly a really good thing. So, okay, I'm gonna have you guys pull out those phones now. And I want to share something with you that I think is really interesting. I want to actually have you look it up on your phone as well, if you have your phone with you. So in the blueprint model, one of the weeks we talk about cutting the clutter in your business and how to analyze kind of the 80-20 rule. Where are you spending your time? Where are you spending your dollars? How to cut the clutter. And so we were talking about this, and we were looking at where we were spending our time. And I didn't know this at the time, but one of the ladies in the blueprint model shared, and then like everybody started sharing. So these are actual screenshots from that time. And I want you guys to look it up on your phone if you have your phone in front of you. You have to go to the battery settings, and it will tell you exactly how much time you have spent on each of the apps on your phone in the last 7 days, in the last 24 hours. And it's can be quite surprising. So these are actual screenshots. So the one on the left says 40% of her time was on Instagram, 15% on Facebook. You'll see in another screenshot in a second, it was like over 7 hours on Instagram in the last 7 days. This one's 10.2 hours on Instagram, 7.2 on Facebook. That's 18 hours in 7 days on a social media app on your phone. And we just have to start asking ourselves, is that the best place we can use our time? These are, I didn't ask them for permission, so I just blocked their names here, but these are what some of the people in the blueprint model were like. Actually, this is like a huge thread in the blueprint model feed. I know some of you remember this. One person said, I discovered this little gem a few months ago on the battery and literally cried when I saw how much time was spent on these apps. It wasn't even useful time I spent on there either. Another person said 9.6 hours on Instagram for me. Holy, I knew it was bad, but this is so eye-opening. The worst part is that I have only posted once in the last 7 days. So basically, I've spent 10 hours just scrolling. I'm so ashamed of myself. Another person said, oh, and this doesn't even include the time that same person. This doesn't include the time that Facebook is up on my desktop at work all day long. So let's add another 12 hours to that Facebook time tracker. Okay, let's go to the next one. There's some more. I just wanted you guys to see these. So if you're going through this for the first time, you don't feel alone. Another person said, yeah, that 40%, so the picture I screenshotted is 7 hours. And that sucks. That's the hour each day I could have been cooking dinner alongside my boyfriend or taking the dog for a long walk. Skip that. These like get me every time. This is brutal, truly. Total facepalm. Last, same, definitely a wake-up call I needed. I knew it was bad, but had no idea it was this bad. Another person, 10.1 hours on Instagram, and I complained that I just don't have enough time. This is a terrible but necessary punch in the face. And then, okay, one more, girl, it's a game changer. It also totals up your weekly time on your phone, and I about had a heart attack when it said 19 hours in a week. I share that with you because over the last 18 months, I've gone through a complete journey. It's been so long, and I'm gonna come back and so you can see my face now and actually answer some questions before we go into okay, what's the solution part? Because it will get better. But I'm passionate about this conversation because I am a money person. Financial advising is what I do, but I think more importantly than that, I'm my goal is to help women lead their best life. And a lot of times that is from opening a business, but I see that our businesses often become the thing that's keeping us from leading the life that we want. And I think it's important that we talk about this. And if I get to be somebody that gets to talk about it, I'm thankful that you guys are here and hanging out with me. So I just I'm going to come back. Sorry, I'll probably be teary-eyed. But I have some questions here people already asked me. And then if you have any questions that you want to ask just about this particular time before we go into like, here's the solution, then ask away. But okay, so if I cry, just like go with me here. All right, my team's on here with me. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Sarah and Marie Anna are in the chat box and they're marking questions. So if you see their names, they're from my team and they're awesome. So hi, you guys are great. Thanks for being so supportive. I wanted to be real with you. And I have a very old studio and it's tilted like this. So I slide down, that's why I always move. This is a very raw conversation. And I actually went back and watched a webinar I did when I was 3 months off of social media because I actually feel not this emotional about it now. But I watched it yesterday and I just remember like, are you feeling all these feels? Are you feeling these feels? Because I cried through that whole webinar when I was 3 months off. It was gut-wrenching to watch somebody that was so afraid, that this one platform had so much control. I care so much about my business. I wanted to succeed, but I like put all my marketing eggs into this one marketing tool. And it was starting to feel like it controlled me. So, okay, this is great. I'm going to ask a few questions while you guys think of questions. I see Chelsea already asked one. This is great. So this is a time just where you can ask like any fears that you have. I think you can even send private messages to my team if you don't want to share your name. But here's some ones that I already received that I want to share with you. So Carrie Joy asked, how did you find connection outside of social media? I think that's very similar to what Chelsea just asked. So as I read in that article, the Psychology Journal, social media has a way of giving us approval and acceptance. It's social approval, social acceptance. But what I learned is that every like, the more likes you get, the bigger your platform gets, but every like becomes so important, but then it's like it's a moving target. Somebody felt that way. I remember when I would get like 11 likes because you're like in the double digits. Way back in the day, you got in the double digits, so it like changed the number. Anyways, it was like double digits. I remember like I would want 12 likes. I want 12 likes. And then I remember like it needs to be over 100. It needs to be over 100 likes. And then I got to 300 likes. And it's like, if it's not, I remember calculating. I'm a data person. I'm an analyzer of data. And Lisa Turkhurst, one of the books I read when I was off social media, I have it right here. Uninvited, Lisa Turkhurst. It's about approval and rejection and acceptance, blah, blah, blah. But it said, no amount of external approval will heal a broken heart. And what I realized is that while I'm so thankful for the friendships that I've built on social media, I'm going to talk about that. I think it's a gift. I had to have real life friends. I had to sit down and put myself out there and do adult dating and have real life friends, because that connection, or take those connections online, offline, become text friends, and that's what I did. I started, one of my goals for 2018 was to have 4 friends in real life friendships. So we moved to a different state last April. So I went on social media and then moved away from all my friends. Bad choice, so many bad choices. And I was so lonely. I was in such a low place. And so I set up a goal for myself to go visit my friends that didn't live near me, but to go see them. That's so life-giving to me. I also have 5 best friends from right after college. We call it the Casa. We all live together at the Casa. We started Marco Polo, which I love, which is a social app, but we have just one group together and we talk, and that was so life-giving to me because none of my friends live locally. And what I found is that when we're not spending 20 hours on our screen, we find time to go intentionally build relationships. And I want to be very careful with this conversation, but I just am sharing with you my story and what happened to me. I had to find real life friends because it's really easy as a business owner to become one-dimensional, and our business is our dimension. You know what I mean? Does anybody else feel that way? I became one-dimensional, and sometimes I still am when I'm just like crazy busy mode like right now. But like, we have to have and build relationships, and that takes a lot of work. It takes intentionality. It's easier to just kind of scroll. I remember I went and spoke in an event, and this is my first month after it was April, and I was sitting in the airport in Waco, Texas, and I was sitting there, and I was the only person not on my phone, like in the entire airport that I could see. And I was just like, this is the life we live in. This is the world where we don't even look up and say, hey, because it's uncomfortable. Anyways, so Kara Joy, and I think Chelsea, when you go on social media, you have to work to go build in real life friends. The other thing is, I'm a believer, so I think about, and not everybody here is, and that's okay, but Jesus had 12 disciples and 3 in the inner circle. And I just started realizing, like, we have really skewed what it means to have friends. What they used to say, if you have 5 friends, you're lucky, like count on your hand. So I think now it's like followers aren't friends. They're followers, and they're really wonderful people, and it's really fun to connect with them. But like, go find one person, and then find 2 people, and get uncomfortable, and ask them to go to dinner and adult dates. That's what I call it. And I promise you, and I'm going to share this all with you, just like, it's so healthy, guys. It's so healthy. Okay, sorry, I'm rambling. Amanda, I know a great marketing tool is growing your email list. I've spent years growing my email list, and it's nowhere close to what Instagram engagement following gets. It seems to take so much time to grow my email list, even though I really want to. Any tips on growing that list so we don't have to focus so much on social media? Absolutely, Amanda. I will share that with you in just a second. Celeste said, I feel really self-conscious asking about this, but it feels important. So I am 46, and once upon a time had an amazing face. I still do, but it's aging. Here's the thing, video is important now. We have to give face time to social media channels. I produce videos for my own clients. I get it. But I'm so weirded out about putting my face in all the places. Okay, this is great. How can I make peace with putting my face out there? Okay, I'm going to talk about this in a second. How to make social media marketing authentic to who you are and not following all the rules. Okay, this is great. All right, so you guys want to dig into the meat. I'm getting it. That's how it felt for me. Charity asked, how did it feel about getting off without the pressure of coming back? And I wanted to share that before I went off, I did a 7-day challenge and had 3,500 people sign up. I did a 7-day challenge in March, right after I went off, and only had 9 people sign up. So I had to face the real possibility that my business might not recover. And the last question was about Kathleen, asking about my revenue metrics. And my business would have been affected had I tried to sell something while I was off those first 3 months. Okay, so let's dig into what happened. Y'all ready? And then we can get some more questions at the end. So before, I was feeling clearly very emotional, very tied to this platform. I was really scared that if I went off, my business would be forgotten. I did not know how to market without it. Instagram was my one and only place I put my energy, probably like a lot of you. And this is what happened. So I'm going to play a little game first. If any of you have seen this before, I've done it on a couple other webinars. Don't answer if you know. But we're going to play a little game. And sorry if you guys can hear the drill. I have an artist that he's like a sculptor in the studio beside me. So he's sculpting today. Okay, so there's followers on the left, profit on the right. This is actual numbers, actual clients. And I want you to guess and just pop it into the chat box if you don't know the answer, if you haven't seen this before. How much profit do you think the person who had 3,488 followers made in profit? Profit, sales, total revenue minus expenses, actual profit in the company. These are actual numbers. So the person who had 3,488, just pop in there. How much profit do you think that person had? And I'm going to wait. There's a little delay. So I'll let you guys chime in there. Okay, Amanda says 83,960. It's a great guess. Always go C, right? Any other guesses? Emily says 108,788. Great guess. Michelle, 108,788. Any other guesses? 3,488 followers. Actual profit. Guys, I'll have you guess. Meg, hey darling. 221,379. Great guess. Meredith said 83,960. Nicole, 83,960. Anybody think 27,000? 40,000? Grace, less than 27,916. Yeah. I want you to think about, before I show you the answer, how many followers do you have? How much profit are you making? Matthew said 40,000. Michelle is their hidden answer, $1. Okay. Bob Barker. Okay, here's the answer. They made 108,788. The person who had less than 5,000 Instagram followers is the person who made over 100,000, which is like somehow in our heads a key metric. These are actual numbers, and this actually happened. 638 followers made 83,000. That's amazing. The person who had 74,000, the most followers, actually made the least amount of profit. I don't show that to prove a point. It's just is what it is. To give them credit, they do have a team and staff and a studio, so different situation, bigger business. The goal of this slide is to show you that there's no correlation between followers and profit. There just isn't. There's been marketing, I think Ann said this, marketing before social media, and I think that there's a way that we can market smarter, not harder. That's exactly why I did this for myself. I never felt like I was great at marketing, and I just wanted to figure out a way. I don't like when people say you have to do something a certain way, and it felt like it had become too important to me. So why did I come back to social media? And why did I come back now? So I was going to go off for a year, and I ended up waiting 18 months. And the reason why I waited is because I wasn't ready, and B, because I promised myself I wouldn't come back until I figured out a better way. And some of you might know some of these things already, but for me, I didn't know. And I'm just sharing like what I had to learn. I was putting all of my time and my energy and my effort into Instagram. And I'm going to show you how much time I was spending on it. And I was getting about 2,300 users a month. And so I wanted to get back to that point without using Instagram. And so these numbers are actually really low. I mean, there's people that are blowing these numbers out of the water. That doesn't matter to me because my company makes a lot of money and I love what I do. And so you might look at these and be like, well, that's nothing special. And that's exactly right. It's not anything special. And it's grown an incredible company that a lot of people, like, I just want to say, I would much rather focus on small and mighty and actually producing results than showing a bunch of numbers. So I waited to come back until I thought this was really cool. The month before we came back was September. We came back October 1st, which was our 18-month mark. We had 2,300 right at users. And some other really cool numbers, though, that you can't see on here. or 60% were still direct traffic, and which I've now learned that direct traffic are people that are more than likely repeat visitors. And so they just type in your URL directly, or just kind of, so more than likely repeat visitors. And then what's really cool though is I had just been blogging. I started blogging again right at the end of July. So actually I'd only been blogging for about 2 months. And my SEO, search engine, so my people that found me through just search engines was already at 22%. And that's only through 2 months of blogging. I thought that was really amazing. 15% still came from social media, but that's through every social media app, including Pinterest, which I don't actually believe is a social media platform. I believe it's a search engine platform. But what's really cool, guys, is where before I was getting the same amount of users, 2,300, and 40% were coming from Instagram, now only 6% are coming from Instagram. And I just thought, this now has a steady platform. This is a place where I can come back, and Instagram is just something I get to do as a social network. Exactly what it was meant to be in the first place, because my business no longer relies on that for my marketing. And I just think that that's really great. And I hope that I can share how we did that through. Okay, so before, this is what I call the social media pyramid at this point. How many of you are basically using Instagram as your number one marketing platform? If that's you, will you just pop a yes in the chat box? Grace said, by the way, you guys, regarding Facebook ads, if they say you pay X dollars, you will get X number of reach. That isn't necessarily true. Well, we can definitely talk about Facebook ads when it's over, Grace. This is all without advertising. Okay, so Meredith said yes. Jennifer, yes. Kim, yes. Emily, yes. Stephanie, yep. Stu, yes. Audrey, yes. Meg, yes. Jessica, yes. Everybody's yes. Yes, yes. Nicole, no. Way to go, girl. Rachel, yes. Amy, email is my number one way. Awesome. Laura, yes. I believe we're putting this is a funnel. We all have to have a funnel for our marketing. We all have a way to bring in leads. Liana, no. Shell, no. Alice, no. Nancy, no. Awesome. Okay, so Instagram is typically one of the top on the funnel. Then maybe Facebook. Bringing people to our website. Some people Pinterest. Very few people email. This is at least what it looked like for me. Instagram was where I was putting all my time, all my effort. Really not Facebook. Nothing else. I grew a multi-six-figure business really through word of mouth, and then put all my efforts into Instagram because I thought I had to. Here's what was really cool. I tracked my time. I've tracked my time since day one of my business. And it took me about 1 hour to post one Instagram post. Does anybody know how much time it's taking them to post one Instagram post? Anybody know? For me, it was about 1 hour. This was to post, not engage, not actually, talk to people. So it was searching for the image, trying to edit the image because I was not a photographer, writing a compelling copy, figuring out, are they going to like this? Totally analyzing it. And then posting it and getting lost. I hashtagged here engaging, air quoted, engaging. Engaging on the platform. It was taking me about an hour. When I look back at I use Toggle to track my time. So actual numbers, Emily, about 40 minutes, Amanda, 30 minutes, Liana, easily 20 to 40, Caitlin, at least an hour. Absolutely. Emily, about an hour if I only do one photo. Meredith, less than 20 minutes, but I'm not consistent. Amy, so true about getting lost and engaging. Renata, I shoot my own content, so around 3 to 4 hours per post. Wow. Kim, about 15 minutes with time already spent pre-planning on planning apps. Yes. If I batch in later gram, I'm assuming with Emily, it's closer to 45 minutes. So at this time, I already used Planoly. This is me batching content, and it still took an hour. Liana, like Meredith, I was never consistent, regardless of how much or how little it took. Yeah, totally there. So basically, I was spending 5 hours collecting likes. And this is the point where I just turn it back to you and say, is this the best use of our time? What is that doing for us? It was getting me 2,300 viewers to my website. Maybe 60% were direct, so I don't know, 40% of that. I was spending so much time on this one platform that wasn't even making me feel very good about myself. And then I just had to say, look, is there a better way to do this? Is there a better place that we could be spending our time? What are you trying to gain with your marketing? Would you just pop that into the comments? What is your goal with your marketing efforts? Whether it's email, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, what are you hoping to get out of it? Just jot that in there for me. Leah, to book more clients. Yes. Chelsea, clients that want to work with me. Jennifer, to make sales. Michelle, profit. Nancy, lots of direct marketing. Also have new websites. Are using social more support and people to go to my website and book a tour. Paige, clients, business. Amanda, more ideal clients. Emily, increased value per client. Nicole, leads to sales item clients. So this is great. Our marketing efforts are to bring more leads into our business, more interested buyers. That is what everybody's writing down. Book more clients. One person, Nicole, quick portfolio. Okay, that's a different story. Ashley, clients. Meredith, clients. How many of your clients are coming from Instagram? Now, I know some of you are getting a lot more from Instagram these days. Like, how many is that happening? At least 1,000 followers will look legit. Yes. Amy, awareness to start trusting, connecting, and liking. None. Yeah, it's coming from there. Here's what I'm going to recommend. This is what we're doing now in my business, what I've learned, and I'm going to tell you what happened. So I just started blogging consistently about 2 months ago. I took kind of a lot of time off last year. It was a rough year, guys. It was a rough year, not just because of going on social media, but a lot of things that I just had to be kind of broken of putting my identity in my business. And I took those same 5 hours that I was spending, if I was doing a post a day, and they were each taking me an hour to do. I said, what can I do with those 5 hours to actually work smarter, not harder when it comes to my marketing? And so what I started doing is what I believe is a great alternative if you're looking for a new approach to the Instagram, to the social media marketing game, is blogging. Blogging, it takes me about an hour to write a blog post, to push it to all of the social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, and within Pinterest, and to create a lead magnet to get people on my email list. Those same 5 hours, I can create 5 blog posts and do all of those things that we're trying to do. And I use that one blog post to be what I push to with Instagram, what I promote on Facebook, what I use to do a lead magnet to bring in email leads, that one blog post. And I think sometimes we're so afraid of doing something different than the crowd that we're missing out what is actually going to be the most profitable for our business. Like, I still have not done this well. We just started working on really content marketing. In only 2 months, I'm already up 22% in SEO alone. We doubled sales last year, doubled sales being off Instagram, being off social media. And I think it's just like, my goal for you is, if this platform isn't working well for you, then I want to give you permission that you can do it differently, Now, I'm going to come back and take the slides down so we can just go through some questions. If you have any questions for me of how we're doing it or why we're doing it this way or what changed or why I would not recommend for you to do it like me, like what are your first 5 steps, like all those questions I would love to answer. But the biggest thing is that if you are looking for a different way, there is a different way. There is a way to spend your time more wisely. We actually created something that we've been working on here that we haven't really announced out loud is kind of a business school for creatives. I think I have it on the slides here. A business school for creatives. Have any of you heard of it? It's called Creative Money Academy. I think some of you are in it. But we actually created a class, I'm working on a class all about marketing and how to, what I call sustainable marketing, marketing from a non-marketer's perspective. And it's all about this philosophy. I call it like your marketing Sunday. And here's why people were saying, this is from Mandy. She said, I most definitely need to learn more about newsletters and email marketing. I know it's something I need, but know nothing about. Would love to hear from you, Shanna. And then Laura said, yes, please. This is so good. Everything you said is so true for me. Just what I need to hear. I would love to hear your thoughts on what to write on a blog or newsletter. Tracy said, I'm going to think about starting a blog. I think it would be quite rewarding to put time into a blog post and use those images on Instagram afterwards, which is what I recommend doing. Nicolette said, girl, I'd love to learn more from you on this topic. You're already in my head. Guys, this was 15 months ago people were asking for this. And I wanted to come back. I didn't want to come back to Instagram until I had another way, a proven method that would work. Leah said, thank you for this. Every week I sit there defeated and explained to my boyfriend my following hadn't grown as much as I wanted. And he asked how many inquiries I got and was that enough? He's so confused about why I'm so bummed out when I'm making enough. Isn't that interesting? Ashley said, this pulled on my heartstrings. Thank you so much for being open on your story and offering these tips. I've had email marketing on my brain for months. And then Faith, it took me a month off social media. And it was the best month ever. I've toyed with the idea of quitting, but I'm so scared of my business not growing. So this is why we're talking about this whole thing, kind of wrapping up this 18 months. I would love to share with you some tips, some tricks, and tools. I'll be on here for another 8 to 10 minutes to answer your questions. But if you want to, we're going to pop up a little offer here. If you want to jump into this Creative Money Academy, basically, we're pre-launching it to found it. You can become a founding member. I know we already have some in here that are already in it. It's a business school for creatives. It's going to be a membership program. So it's going to be about $129 per class or $59 a month. But right now, you can actually get in for $29 a month with this pilot offer till March next year. So I created a class called Sustainable Marketing. And I'm going to jump on and still answer some of your questions. But basically, it's this new system of what I'm implementing in my business, what I spent the last 18 months trying to educate myself on. I call it marketing for non-marketers because some of you probably know way more about marketing than I do. I mean, you can ask my team. I'm not great at technology. But what I am great at is speaking directly to my clients, offering products that they want to buy, and being very strategic about how I'm spending my time. I believe that we have to build a business that is useful for the life that we want. And for me, being off of social media the last 18 months ended up being probably one of the best things I've ever done for my business and for my family. And this class called Sustainable Marketing, it's all about how to spend less time on marketing but get more results, drive more traffic to your website. I know so many of you are wanting that. Get more engagement on your posts, how to cut through the noise, get the attention of your ideal client, how to access the power of social media for good, the role of blogging, SEO, and email. Some of you are like, this is silly, everybody. I did not know any of this. I literally was doing only on Instagram. I was spending so much time on this one platform, and I wrote this class for myself. I wrote this class for myself to say, this is how you should do it this way. This is better. This is better. My step-by-step guide to building your marketing, I call it your marketing Sunday, because I believe Instagram should be the cherry on top of your sundae. And right now, most of us just have a big bowl of cherries and no sundae. To harness the power of intentional marketing to reach your ideal clients. I would love to have you pop in Creative Money Academy is going to be a business school for creatives. You can buy the classes individually, or you can become a member and get all the classes, like Netflix, kind of Netflix style. Right now, we're doing a pilot, like a founding member group. So for $29 a month, you have to put in the coupon code. So make sure you put in the coupon code to get that. At the end, I think Sarah popped up an offer for you if you want to click over. But I'm going to answer some of your questions. But if you want to dig deeper into this topic, I would love to welcome you there. It's $29 a month. You can cancel at any time. You also have access to the other classes that we've already put out there about the art of the sale and how to jumpstart your brand, about getting consistent imagery, because I really struggled with that. I was not a photographer. And then every month I release a new class. Okay, so I see so many questions, so let me get in there. And thank you guys for just letting me share my story and for being so kind and attentive to that, letting me get emotional on here. I know for so many that this platform has a little bit of a hold on us, and we're letting fear drive our decisions. And I know if you're like me, we have something really special, and you have something really special to put into the world, and we want people to know about it. And there's nothing worse than like having a great product and having nobody know that it's there. That's what marketing's for, is to tell people, hey, I made this for you. I hope you like it. Come and buy it. And I would love to help you get that message out into the world. And there are so many marketing things out there. There are also, this is not a class on just Instagram strategy or just Pinterest strategy or just email marketing. So if you're needing to deep dive into that, this is not a class for you. This is a class about an overall strategy and how we're using one blog and 1 hour of our time to create great content, online content marketing, to push to all those channels. Okay, thanks for that. Passionate about it. Okay, let me look here. Questions. Okay, we've been on 56 minutes. Let's do 5 minutes here. Grace said, is it the same as the blueprint model for creatives? So the blueprint model is my all about business. I call it a business incubator. It's a 12-week program. It's $2,000. So this one's $29. It's very different. But the business model, the blueprint model, is a full-on, does talk about marketing. It doesn't go in depth about this, like social media marketing, content marketing. Actually, those questions that I read to you from Mandy and all those people, those are from my blueprint model people who were like, we would love to have you talk about this. I made this class for them. So I really created Creative Money Academy for them. So the blueprint model lays a foundation about financial planning, pricing, marketing, creating a strategy for your business. It's a pretty intensive, like if you were to go through a business incubator, like a business, like an MBA for creative business. So they're very different. You will get different content. Okay. Grace said, I'm good at doing this in my day job, but my self-confidence really tanks when doing it for my own work. So is it okay that I want to take a different approach and shut out the noise for myself? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Grace. I wanted to talk about that. And somebody else asked about putting your face out there. Yes, this is a great question. How do you feel authentic in the marketing that you're doing when the world is telling you to do? I have this, I have something I teach in actually the class, is how to do social media marketing as an introvert. Because while I'm very friendly and I love to be with people, that's something that actually got really overwhelming for me. My audience grew pretty quickly, and I tried to get back to everybody, and I was actually just like really burnt out we weren't built to have 4,000 relationships. That's not how we were designed, and I couldn't do that well, couldn't keep up with it. So I teach 30 minutes of engaging. And that means getting on the platform and actually like responding to people that commented, and then actually writing comments to people that you admire, or like, that looks really good, or, engaging with people. That's how you build relationships on the platform. And that's how you start seeing each other's faces and actually building online relationships that you hopefully one day you can take off. So I also felt I've gone, the last 18 months definitely has been a self-confidence journey. I did not realize that I needed that approval. I needed that approval of people because I didn't get that from myself. I had to learn how to say, my work is good. I help people, and I don't need anybody else to approve me of that, because I believe that in myself. And that's something I had to go through as well. And as business owners, we have to walk in and be confident in that. I think, too, the person who asked about being on video, I don't believe that you have to do any kind of marketing that does not fit your personality. I do believe in finding a way of marketing that does fit your personality. I also, though, would say every time I do a video, every time I do a webinar, every time I do a post, every time I send out an email, when my friends tell me that they read it, I'm kind of like, don't read it. I feel weird about it. We do play a role. And that role is who we are, but I always joke and say that's business Shanna. That's business Shanna. And it's because even when I get up on a stage, we have to say to her, like, I'm going to do this. And sometimes it can feel like we're just going to step into our role. So if you feel like that's the best way to reach your audience, then absolutely, it can feel weird the first few times. It can feel weird every time. I've been speaking now for 5 years, and I still, every time I'm about to sound like, ugh, why am I doing this? I hate it. But then I love it. You got to step into your role. So I believe in finding a channel that works for you and being authentic to your personality and figuring out, like, if you don't want to do videos and stories, what is another way to engage with your audience? The person who was asking about, like, growing your email list and struggling with that, then that says to me you're not speaking to the right person, or you're not producing the thing that they need. If they're not signing up for your email list, then they're not wanting enough. You're not offering them enough for them to want to sign up. Why should they get on your email list? If they don't know that, they're not going to sign up. So that's where I would go back to. I think there's a language disconnect or a value disconnect there of why they're not signing up. Okay. Let's see. I think there's some more. Farron, hope I'm saying that right. I feel like blogging would take time away from the practicing creating content as a photo stylist. Do you think it's still important to blog anyway? So many people are already blogging about styling. Yeah, so in this sustainable marketing class, that's one of the things that I teach is how to create the content and figuring out what the content should be. Because I don't believe in just like doing anything just for the sake of doing it. Who has time for that? I believe in doing something that has a purpose and is converting. That's actually putting people on your list, which is your email list. It's a list that you own. A lot more people talking about that. I love it. You need to get them on the list. That's an ultimate goal. I also talk about what to say once they're on your list. But I actually believe you have a huge opportunity as a photo stylist to share imagery. But the very first step all of us need to take in our marketing is figuring out who we're talking to. Are we talking to other vendors? Are we talking to a client? Who is your client? Because then you can say, what content does my client want to hear? Anne's on here, I think, if Anne's still on here. But I know Anne, my friend, has a rental company. She has a venue. And like, is she speaking to her client? Then maybe she's putting out mood boards or inspiration, a spring event, an Easter event, a mother-in-law event, a baby shower, like putting out that content. All of the people in the wedding industry right now, you have such opportunity, especially with Pinterest, and blogging is SEO. Blogging is Pinterest. Blogging is Instagram. You can put so much content. And Farron, for you, for photo styling, this is great. Who are you styling photos for? Or is it corporate? Is it other small business owners? Because when you know that, like I have a photo stylist do all of my promotional imagery. I have that for my website. That's a class I teach. Jumpstart Your Brand. It's in the Creative Money Academy. You have such an opportunity now because we live in such a visual world. All these small business owners need visuals. So just figuring out who you're talking to and then create content that would speak to them. You don't have to be just another photo stylist putting images out there. You want to target that content to who you're trying to speak to. Okay, sorry, I'm getting on my soapbox. Michelle, I'm curious how big your team is and who does your photography. That's the hardest part for me, to have content to blog about. Love this, Michelle. I actually teach a class on this called Jumpstart Your Brand. It's in the Creative Money Academy. If you get in there, this is my biggest pain point. I wrote in my journal about it. I used to cry, and because it was just so frustrating to me, because Instagram is a visual channel. We live in a very visual world, and my clients are very visual, and I am not a photographer. I was spending hours trying to edit these pictures, trying to take pictures of myself, like having dinner with having dinner with Kyle. He was like an Instagram husband. It was infuriating. I remember I would be at the pool and try to like take pictures of like my feet and my book and my hat. You know, that picture on Instagram. I'll get so frustrated. And that's when I started realizing like I need to do brand photo shoots and how to afford to do a brand photo shoot. That's a key. And so that I get images for all my blog posts, push this to Instagram, all my products. So I do now a brand photo shoot every quarter, definitely every product launch. But before I would do it every, with $250, I would ask my friends that are photographers. I mean, there's so many things. That's why I teach a class called How to Jumpstart Your Brand. And it's all about creating a brand photo shoot. Because I agree, creating consistent content, it's a big deal. So hope that helps. Brand photo shoots, that's how I do it. I don't take my pictures myself because I'm not a photographer. And that's taking time away from me being a better business coach and a better business consultant and putting out great content. Okay. I'm going to look at all these questions here. We're over an hour. So I know a lot of you will start hopping off, and I just want to say, the last 18 months has been the hardest 18 months in my business. And now on the other side of it, I am so thankful that I went off social media. I do not recommend going off the cold turkey, but I do recommend please diversify how people are coming to your website. My website traffic bombed because I did not diversify. We all have to have a funnel of people coming in. I learned this when I worked in finance, 1031. We have to have a funnel. Our audience is coming in somehow. We need to be driving them to our website. We need to be asking them to get on our email list. And I'm going to share with you in the class, what do you even do on an email list, because everybody's like, what do I say? I get it. That's what we need to be doing. I was never doing that. I was just like spending hours and hours on this one platform, believing that if I got off, it would hurt my business. And it did hurt my business. But now I figured out a different way. And I'm going to share that because I'm passionate about it. And the cool thing is it takes me less time now to reach more channels than it did before. I can come back confidently. Like I don't worry about my numbers on Instagram anymore. I just want to love people there well, encourage others, and just do my work. So I just hope that I can help you in any way I can. You can email us, ask us questions. I just want you to know that you don't have to do it like everybody else. If it's not healthy for you, if it's not good for you. And even if it is healthy for you, still, I encourage you to take those relationships offline. Okay, I'm going to stay on for 3 more minutes and see if any questions are here. I've started and restarted blogging. Hey, Anne, this is helpful encouragement that this is where I can spend productive and purposeful time. Yes, but if you're blogging, in everything that I do, I want you to know, and this is a question I asked in the class, who is it for? What are you trying to say? Who is it for? What content do they need to hear? And what action do you want them to take? So if you're blogging, every blog should have a call to action. That's either getting them on your email list, or asking them to email you, asking them to inquire. So what are you producing for them? Why do they care? Why is it helpful? And what are you wanting them to do? In every content piece that I put out, I'm just not all about doing something just to do it. And that's what I hope to teach you here with marketing. How can we do this in a strategic way that's still authentic and feels real? But yes, Anne, I'm so glad you're blogging. I'd love to see, if you haven't signed up yet for Google Analytics, I know this is elementary to a lot of people, but it was not elementary to me. I never had Google Analytics, so didn't get it. We want search engine. Okay, so I'm going to pop out. Thanks, guys, for spending this time with me. It's been a wonderful journey doing social media free, and I would love to see you in the Creative Money Academy. We're releasing class a month. It's a pilot group, so you're going to see typos and errors, and there's no community group yet, but we're building it out, and you get to have a lot of feedback in it, which is really cool. And we're really excited about this class and hope that it helps people work smarter, not harder with their marketing. Thanks for spending this time with me. If you didn't get your question answered, please email us, support@shannasskidmore.com, and we will try to email those over for you. And thanks for spending time with me. Love seeing so many friends here. Bye, guys.